is obtained through legal labor.
Probably going to be higher than theirs because you pay more for labor than they do. And in a tough economy, whoever's got the lowest prices, they're the ones who are going to win, and everybody else is going to lose. And if people are working at a place in an off-the-books manner, they're not benefiting either. Sure, they might have a job, but it exists in the shadows, and these people don't benefit from any of the worker protections, which exist to stop predatory businesses from harming their workers in the first place. And living in a country where the laws that protect others don't apply to you is not the American dream. Instead, it just means that you're being taken
Well,
care
it was before 1965. And that was kind of a bad thing, you know?
Okay, go ahead.
advantage
23 zebra 6310.
Yeah, I love how these business owners, these like fucking, in a lot of cases, not with that one, but like in a lot of these cases, like these millionaire business owners are trying to make this emotional argument of, oh, we need to hire these people, we're trying to do it for the out of the goodness of our heart. No, you're doing it to save money and you know it.
Photo attachment. These are the
You know, this is something that many people have never considered. The fact that when ICE rates a business, they find trafficking victims, that totally goes against the narrative that ICE is going to these places and pulling out people who wish they were there and are the happiest they've ever been. Especially when they're only going to businesses based on tips about ongoing criminal activity and the presence of dangerous individuals. They're not going to places where the only thing possibly going wrong are that otherwise law-abiding people are working illegally. And in New York especially, the signs of trafficking are everywhere. Literally, if you go to the bus terminal, a location where many asylum seekers and recent immigrants first arrive, you'll see signs warning people about this. Which
I
wouldn't
wonder why that's there.
What could possibly be the reason? Can you start
be there if it wasn't a problem. And according to the Borders are, when businesses do their hiring, they could be bringing people into their companies.
But usually they don't have stop signs in the middle of the forest, do they?
I think it'll be one
Are
record
trafficking
with
victims,
one
and they might
forever.
not even know it. Yet that person's
Did you
entire
listen to
paycheck
all
ends
the
up getting
vehicles
turned
left down?
over to the criminals who forced them to take that job in the first place. And where might these criminals find their victims? Well, this report says they're being located in the very shelters that New York City opened to keep people safe. Shelters which are infested with gang members because as a sanctuary city, we don't do background checks, and police are banned from patrolling these places, which just...
Property, thank you. 85 Capital.
How the fuck did this happen?
Mikey, this was Sam 3.
This is amazing. What the hell is going on? Oh my god. This guy actually makes a comment. This is his first message ever. He made his account an hour ago. This is a prime example of how the middle class was being hollowed out and yet somehow never became an election issue until recently. This is how regular people become radicalized. This is his first message.
We've had a secondary IP, but I think it's how
And he's
getting out
fucking
of
right.
control, which like a government.
Absolutely fucking right. There it is.
Disregard them.
Yep. Somebody made a fucking account. Imagine that.
We're clear to go
After
on.
banishing, hey, he learned his lesson.
allows the criminals who are smuggling weapons inside to become the de facto law enforcement standard, doing whatever they want to whoever they want, and nobody can stop them. However, these gangs, they're not just getting people jobs at little mom-and-pop restaurants or convenience stores, they're also helping people get jobs at corporate entities that they have no idea. They just hired somebody illegally.
To the left lane, you just pop a little cantina, 245.
What would I do?
They were then being able to either buy 19 cards, permanent residency cards.
See, this is kind of the issue, is that, like, you have people in there, and there's, like, a cascade of other illegal activities, like identity theft and other types of fraud, that happen as a necessity to a person living in the country illegally. And so it's not like somebody just comes over here and they're just here and that's it. There's always, like, all these knock-on effects that happen like this.
415 subject.
This is like, someone, don't you think the also the tax burden on small business owners and companies is so high that it leads them to bend the rules? The tax burden on businesses is so high? No, I don't think so. I think when they can afford to pay their CEOs and their executives millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars a year. No, I'm not going to think about the tax burdens. I actually think the taxes in some cases should probably be higher. So yeah, no, I don't think so at all. And also, like small businesses, so
Still getting reports
there
of
are
shots fired
small
from 15
businesses,
applied to the
like
victim.
the entire, so like the premise here is that a small business can't exist unless they hire illegal labor. We all know that's not true. And there are a lot of small businesses that do exist without hiring illegal labor. So why is it that some of them can and other ones can't? Well, maybe that's a skill issue.
So this story is from a Fox affiliate in Chicago, but this same thing is taking place right here in New York, and fake IDs are being sold openly on our streets by gang members, which should be expected in a place that allows massive numbers of people in the country unlawfully to stay here. They're gonna need a way to provide for themselves, and that creates a marketplace for false identification. And where are people getting the money to buy their fake IDs? Well, according to this news report, they shoplift and steal and commit crime, which is such a problem.
We're the city where we don't arrest people for coming here illegally, and they're stealing people's identities. They're working jobs under the table. They're making money by stealing stuff out of stores and then selling it on the street. What the fuck is going on? There's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason why Gotham City's based on New York.
Wait, 22.
It's yeah, this isn't a clown show, it's the whole circus.
Just arrived here at Kaiser's Health.
Oh my god.
Stand for it, Kyle.
Y'all live in a massive PvP zone over there? Yes, and it enables PvP. You're right. I forgot all about that. That's a good point.
New York, our state, is home to a $4.4 billion shoplifting economy, and when you walk through a store in the city, you'll see most products behind plexiglass. And although this is the obvious result of decriminalizing thefts that are non-violent and
Dude,
All the way down to Tiger.
this is insane. See, like, remember when I was talking before about how, like, stealing a bunch of stuff out of, like, like all the threats and everything that people are making online is going to cause a reduction in personal freedoms? I think this is a really great parallel to what I was trying to bring up and talk about. And I think this is a good example and like a good like kind of metaphor for where things are going to be going online if things continue the way that they go. Or the way that they are, excuse me. And by the way, do you know how fucking annoying it is to try to shop at a place like this? Like, I go to Target instead of Walmart, even though it's a little bit more expensive, just because I don't want to have to act like I'm a fucking convict if I want to buy a pack of underwear. It's insane. I instantly walk out. Yeah, it's insane. It's massively inconvenient.
Under $1,000 in value, this type of arrangement allows low-level petty thieves to do this as a full-time job, which is why you have so many open-air theft markets throughout the city where people are just reselling stolen goods on a sidewalk somewhere. But even if a person steals just long enough to get a fake ID so they can work at Amazon or Uber or Target or any business that actually checks, they're going to need a real ID and a valid social security number. And the way these criminal businesses help people get an ID like that threatens every single person in our entire country.
It's crazy how stupid people are that they couldn't see this happening. It's actually shocking to me that this obvious effect is somehow completely, like, just incomprehensible. It's by design? You think it's by design? I think that you put too much faith in the system. I think the fact is that it's just a massive amount of emotional reasoning and stupid people doing the thing that makes them feel good. That's what I think it is. And you're right that there's probably an Illuminati that's working behind the scenes that's trying to make this happen. But it's still happening voluntarily. The people are still making decisions and choosing to do this.
Once after a coattail sack starts sneaking the LV against full sack with it.
So it's one thing to get a job for the owners, they're
then you just read a source for good. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Is that
That's your 3 as of right now. I
like
think
obviously you're always going to have bad actors that are going to try to like push weird agendas or for whatever, everything, right? But like what's problematic to me is the fact that this is it's a socially acceptable point of view. That's the issue. Does that make sense?
Now we're pulling over to get lost.
So because the reason why they're able to do it is because
and then
it's a
can we
socially
just
acceptable.
coordinate with exactly
That's
where
it.
they want a 940 with us, but
Shipping this like the best place people discuss it, how they cancel. Yeah, I mean over you can say whatever you want. Like I mean if it gets like racist or it's like that, you can get mad. But like if people want to disagree or whatever, like it's fine.
Maybe
I don't work.
Can you use 5
The phrase you're looking for is useful idiots. Yeah, but there's just a lot of useful idiots, you know. There's a lot of them. Damn, that's a lot.
you just go your second.
World a favor, but it's
You
kind
wanna
of
jump on the chair
to get a job at a legitimate looking place like this Subway where they check. But in a city with over 400,000 people who aren't supposed to be here needing employment, that's gonna have to happen if everybody wants to work. And because of that, you have a new victim entering the equation when it comes to unlawful employment. And that victim is anyone who has legal work authorization in this country.
Yep.
This is what the migrants are ordering from the authorities in order to secure employment.
That's it.
The vast majority of them are released.
Correct.
Only 500 fake IDs are uncovered. Social security cards, driver's licenses, and American permanent.
So you gotta wonder, where does a gang like this get hundreds of fake IDs? They've got stacks of them and they're all for sale. Now, of course, the IDs could all be bogus, but it's not gonna be good for business if word gets around that they don't help people get jobs. Yeah, which means if somebody puts the information on that ID through some sort of database that checks to see if people can actually get jobs, there can't be any errors, which means some of the ID is floating around out there, got into the hands of criminals in an illegitimate manner. So the way for criminals to get their first few IDs that they sell are to have themselves, friends, or family members recreate a legitimate ID and then sell those IDs to people who kind of look like whoever's on the picture. But that's not going to work forever. And the fact that there's demand for these things should terrify everyone who's ever been involved in some sort of data breach. If your identity or personal documents have ever leaked, a more sophisticated criminal could use that information to recreate your ID with someone else's picture on it, and then they could sell it an unlimited number of times to an unlimited number of people. This article says a legit driver's license will go for $500. The New York Post found gang members in Queens selling IDs from $80 to $250, some of which were obviously bogus. But what this reveals is
this is what's crazy about it is there's a massive economy that comes out of this.
Yeah.
What's the end game for Democrats with all this? I think that for a lot of them there isn't really an end game. Like so, it depends on like who you're asking. I think that for business owners, which is not, I mean, this is not a political. I mean, I don't think that there's like, like taking like political sides out of it. I think for business owners, the end game is cheap labor and more money. For the people voting on it, the end game is feeling good and knowing that you're better than the people that you disagree with, and the people who you disagree with are racist and evil. And then I think for the politicians, the reason is that they're betting that the people that are going to come over will have some degree of thankfulness and will actually vote for them in the future. So I think you put all of these together, and if you can figure out what the incentive is, you can figure out why something is happening. I think that's the reason.
that even somebody who is well-meaning for the most part has to subject themselves to the criminal underworld if they want to get a legitimate-looking job in this city, or in any city in America for that matter. Even so, there are people out there defending illegal labor practices as being good for the entire country.
Even if my tried to get on with the other day, and there was nobody there. And she said, well, I went down to the protest doors. She said,